What if sinabi ko sa'yo na merong way to enter a trade without any enter confirmation? Yes, you heard that right. You might even ask me, bakit ko nga ba gagawin yon? Wala akong FVG, wala akong OB, wala akong breaker. Bakit ako mag-enter ng trade? It's because sometimes when market goes in the direction na ina-anticipate mo, tapos hindi ka nakapag-enter, you might experience bad emotions such as FOMO na pwedeng mag-cause sa'yo ng tilt and end up taking bad decision after that. In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to find those trade na hindi nangangailangan ng entry confirmation. Let's get into it. So for this video, sasagutin natin ang pinaka-main question, which is how do you trade without an entry model? So for you to do this, you need two things. You need draw on liquidity, where you believe the market is gonna go, and a stop loss placement na merong clear invalidation. So a lot of the times when you have an entry, like for example, you wanted to target this, and this is your invalidation, you just need to find a decent risk to reward ratio, or at least positive EV na kung saan if you lose, for example, the market is currently trading here, right? And you believe na ito yung invalidation. This is your take profit. A lot of the times, you just need to be buying as close as possible malapit sa invalidation mo. Most retail traders, hindi sila sanay bumili when it is close to the invalidation. They're thinking, oh, nandito na yung price. Malapit na niyang mahit itong level na to. Therefore, nakakatakot buying at this level kasi malapit na siya sa invalidation level nila or kaya naman sa stop loss placement. But really, if you think about it, if you buy here, you are getting a better price para mas marami siyang reward kapag nahit itong level na to. And if you lose, konti lang yung matatalo mo. So if you think about risk to reward ratio, this might be 1:2 or 1:3. If you buy here and take profit dito, it's a positive risk to reward, right? But most of the time, retail traders are afraid to do this because they're thinking malapit na yung stop loss na mahit or malapit na yung price na mahit yung stop loss nila. So this is what you need when you are trading this. You don't need any entry model, you don't need any FVG, breaker, or whatever when you're trading this market because you believe that the market is gonna go here, which is ito yung draw on liquidity, and you believe that this stop loss placement will hold. So one key thing na kailangan mong maintindihan when you're trying to do this is that dapat yung stop loss mo is an invalidation level. It means if price reach this level, the idea na pupunta dito yung market is no longer acceptable or it's no longer valid. Therefore, if your stop loss got hit, it means you are wrong on your thesis and it's time for you to sit on the sideline and reevaluate the thesis you have in mind or the next plan you may have in mind. Okay, so those are the things that you need. You need draw on liquidity and a stop loss placement na it is clear in validating the whole idea of your trade. Now, kapag gagawin natin to, we need the economic calendar to guide us. So, red folder news help us drive kung saan mapupunta ang manipulation, kung saan mapupunta ang distribution. So, when I look at the economic calendar, for example, the past week, which is July 1 to 4, I look for red folder news. Immediately, I check ano yung mga market or ano yung mga pair na merong red folder news. So, you can see we have a lot. We have GBP, we have JPY, we have CHF. So, to me, nag-stick agad sa akin is yung CHF because this red folder news, etong mga SPIC na to, oftentimes they're not clean kasi hindi siya data na i-release tapos may biglang sudden move sa market. A lot of the times, kapag sa mga ganitong klase ng mga news events such as Fed Powell SPIC, nakadepende sa sasabihin ni Fed Chair Powell yung magiging reaction ng market. Unlike when you have this data na kung saan merong expectation or merong forecast and merong actual result, merong immediate move sa market. And that is the time you want to check, is this a manipulation or is this a distribution? So one thing we can see on this week is that NFP week, and we have a bank holiday, usually Friday ang NFP, but this one in particular has my interest because when you have two high impact news event like this na magkasunod, CPI and then NFP on the USD. So what I want to do is look for CHF USD pair because I think this is where the most volatile and will give me the best potential opportunity. And basically what I'm looking for is maybe a distribution, maybe a manipulation on the news event here, and then distribution on the 8:30 news, which is NFP, and then continuation ng 10 o'clock sa ISM. A lot of the time, itong mga NFP, manipulation na nangyayari sa NFP and then continuation ng 10 o'clock news. But in this particular, I'm looking at the CHF USD. So, This is your roadmap. You need this economic calendar. When you're trading this economic calendar, you need to have a weekly profile. So there are weekly profiles that I learned from ICT. Makikita nyo to sa core content niya, which is yung month 7. And basically, it gives you an idea where the high and the low is likely to form. So basically, when you know kapag saan yung potential high or low ng market, then you can possibly put that as your invalidation. For instance, one of the famous one is yung classic high of the week, or kaya naman classic Tuesday high of the week, o kaya naman classic Tuesday low of the week. So panoorin nyo na lang to. It will give you an idea when the low or high of the market is likely to form. So this one is the classic Tuesday high of the week, or kaya naman low of the week. So if you believe na yung Tuesday is already the high or low of the week, then you just basically wait sa market na pumunta as close as possible on this high, and then you just basically put a position there and put your stop loss. So if I think that the market is gonna be bearish on this day, ang gagawin ko lang is when market trades close to this stop loss or sa invalidation level, I will put a short here without any entry confirmation and put my stop loss here. Hindi ko kailangan ng entry because I believe that it is likely na Tuesday high of the week siya. So if the market is gonna suddenly expand lower, then pwede na ako mag-enter as close as possible dito. It will give me a better risk to reward. Okay? So that's how I typically do it when I trade without any confirmation. For example, let's say this is a weekly candle, right? Let's assume that this is a weekly candle. If you are bullish, you want to see low of the week on Tuesday, and then let's say this is Tuesday, and then before mag-expand ang market to the upside, you want to see market trade lower as close as possible dito. Maybe it's Wednesday, maybe it's Thursday. If you believe that Tuesday low is in, just simply long here and put your stop loss here, and then ride the expansion higher. So that's how I typically like to use it, and vice versa naman kapag bearish ka. If this is Tuesday high of the week, you believe this is already the high, then wait for the market to trade close at this level and then sell short here. Then put your SL here and then ride the market to the downside. Basically, you need that context on a weekly profile and the economic calendar because those will guide you kung saan pupunta yung market. So let's get into the chart example that I personally took. We are now looking at the monthly time frame ng USDCHF, and as you can see, we have a very strong momentum sa downside over the past couple of months, and we can see na meron tayong draw on liquidity on this downside. So typically, if I wanted to join to the short side, I would wait sa market na mag-trade siya into some kind of premium or discount. So what do I mean by that? Gusto ko makita yung market na mag-trade siya on this level, so I will plot the premium and discount from high to low, and I want to see yung market na mag-trade at this level before I try to trade the short side. So this is currently in a replay mode, and you can see this day specifically is Friday 27. This is assuming na yung economic calendar from what I showed you earlier has not yet manifested, or kaya naman yung mga candlestick. For me to join this short, gusto ko muna siya makitang mag-trade higher, and I will try to join the downside. But if we try to play what happened this week is that we can see na ito yung nangyari. The market never really traded sa premium area for me to join the short. Believe it or not, you can still find trades in this condition. Okay, so for us to understand what happened on this level or on this time is we have to look at the 1 hour time frame. And I have this indicator, it's called ICT Everything. Makikita mo yung plot ng ano nangyari per day. So on this specific day, since I am looking for a market to trade higher sa premium, I was not able to join all this downside. Why? Kasi never siya nag-trade sa premium level. But I was able to join this move on the upside. So how did I did that? Let me further discuss it to you guys. So for me, na mag-join dito sa long, kailangan alam ko na hindi na to babagsak. I need to have an invalidation level. So where's my invalidation level? It is Tuesday, and this is because I've studied yung weekly profile ni ICT when the high or the low is likely to form. So I believe na itong Tuesday na to is likely to be the low of the week. So paano ako nag-conclude or paano ako nag-come up sa ganong decision? Na knowing na meron lang malaking wick dito, right? There's huge wick here, and there's no data point na pwede akong kumuha ng data. Even on the daily, this is just huge wick, right? So what I did was look at the dollar. So bakit ko tinignan ng dollar? When you're trading a USDCHF, kapag ito umangat itong market na to, dollar dapat angat din siya. So they are positively correlated. Kapag umangat si dollar, angat din si USDCHF. Kapag bumabagsak si dollar, babagsak bumagsak din si USDCHF. Dito ako nag-base ng point of interest ko from the left side. Okay? So if you look at the monthly, we have the low of the March of 2022 na take out tong liquidity na to. And if we look at the weekly, we can see na we have an imbalance here. The weekly imbalance here, and you can see we weak through here. Ang nangyari was, on Monday, we dropped down, and then on Tuesday, we can see na after ma-taken out ng low of March 2022 and after ma-feel ng inefficiency from weekly, we never close below this key level, indicating to me na, okay, Tuesday might be the low of the week. And if I expect this to be the low of the week, I expect the same sa USDCHF. And let's go back sa USDCHF. If you look at this from this perspective, let's say here, the market is just grinding lower. Saan yung draw on liquidity? We have traders na nagtitrail ng stop loss nila from previous day high, right? We have 3 consecutive high na hindi binabalikan ng market. What does this mean? We have a lot of liquidity in a form of stop loss. So maraming stop loss dito na naka-place, and we have also inefficiency here. For the market to continue trading lower, it has to at some point trade sa inefficiency ng market before siya mag-trade lower. We can see this, right? And let's go back sa 1 hour time frame. Now we have this previous day high as a draw, and we can see na Monday high, Tuesday high, and this is the Wednesday high. When we open on a Thursday, ito yung opening ng Thursday, right? So when Thursday open, you wanna be buying below the midnight open kasi that level is the discount. And anong meron dito sa Thursday na to? It is the CPI, right? We have 2 news events on this day. We have CPI, we have NFP. And on this particular day, dahil na-release ang CPI, for me, this is a manipulation. You wanna be buying as much as possible below this level. Where would you put your stop loss? Sa clear invalidation level or kaya naman dito sa Tuesday low. Why? Because I believe from the dollar na hindi na dapat pupuntahan ng market to. So if you are buying as close as possible dito sa level na to, you are getting a better risk to reward kung tatargetin mo etong high na to, right? What I did was, when this candle prints, I was not able to join at this exact low. I was able to join in here when I recognized that potentially this is the Tuesday low of the week. Honestly, anywhere in here, you can enter the trade, right? Yan. Dito ako basically nag-enter, and my stop loss was below this Tuesday low, and my target was on this high. Basically, I have clear invalidation, I have clear take profit. Even this Monday high, potentially, this could be your target. For me, this is my target. This is my low-hanging fruit na merong magandang risk to reward, right? I did not use any lower time frame confirmation on this, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. I did not. I believe this is just 1:2 risk to reward. From this perspective na in-anticipate ko na yung news event is the manipulation, because we have 2, right? We have NFP. And we can see na yung NFP, na-release siya and it distribute higher. In my opinion, if meron tayong Friday session, this is likely gonna go higher. But because Friday is actually bank holiday, I just close my profit at this level. You wanna be selling kapag yung market is at a premium level. And if we look at this daily time frame, we also have this daily potentially target, right? If you're buying below, you can target this. You can target this high ng FVG na to, but of course, you need to have a better risk to reward. So the point being here is that as long as you have a draw on liquidity and you have a clear invalidation, you can take a trade. You do not need a entry confirmation kasi the market is gonna go where it's predetermined to go, right? Kung dito pupunta ang market, you have a high conviction na ito ang pupunta ng market today, then you just simply need to have a clear invalidation. So yun yung kailangan mo. Hindi mo kailangan ng entry model. You just basically have these 2 levels sa utak mo sa market na kung saan hindi na pupunta dito yung market and I expect it to go here. Therefore, I can take a trade based on this idea. I don't need any more confirmation. That's how I typically do it. Meron akong guide ng weekly profile and at the same time, meron akong guide ng economic calendar, which is very important para maintindihan mo kung saan magmamanipulate ang market at kung kailan siya magdidistribute. So, I do not care actually about the data na lalabas. I just care about what the market does based on the price action. So for me, the data on the news is just noise, and I just use that noise para mag-frame ng trade setup, mag-build ng narrative, and that's how I actually frame a trade idea na kung saan based on weekly profile and economic calendar that guides me without any entry confirmation. This helps you na mawala yung tilt. Imagine what happened if naghanap ka ng entry confirmation, it didn't give you, now you are on a sideline. Pwede ka nang ma-FOMO and you may end up taking trades na ayaw mo. And if you don't believe me, I actually executed this trade. I'm gonna send the screenshot right here. If you want to learn more kung paano ako nagtitrade, be sure to subscribe and like this YouTube video. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.